The year was 2014. Warner Brothers Animation was just about to release the Lego Movie. Audiences had low expectations for this movie, expecting it to be a cash grab and a 2-hour advertisement. Little did they know they were about to watch the greatest kids movie ever made.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome.
First, I want to say there will be some spoilers for the Lego Movie in this video. I've intentionally not tried to talk about the plot too much for this very reason, but there are things I want to talk about that require spoilers. I will put a warning on screen when I'm about to talk about a spoiler, and I'll put a timestamp to go to skip the spoiler. Seriously though, you should watch this movie. It's really good. It's on Netflix, Hulu, and Prime. Or you could just be like me and watch it on Soap Today. I love the absurd world in this movie. Emmett basically lives in a surveillance state, and no one cares because they're too distracted by their show that only has one joke, their one annoying song that repeats the chorus over and over again, and their overpriced coffee. Guys, it's just like real life, guys. This is just like our current day society, guys. I don't even know why I'm acting like a hipster. I'm just as much as the consumerist. I'm even doing it right now. Of course, all of this is just state-run media because the whole world is run by one company that also controls the government. It's just like real life. I hate to be that guy that's like, this dumb kids movie is actually some deep socio-economical political critique. But in this case, it actually is.
In Octan, they make good stuff. Music, dairy products, coffee, TV shows, surveillance systems, all history books, voting machines. Wait a minute.
I mean, come on. The villain is a CEO and president who uses the police and media to punish anyone who deviates from his plan of the perfect world. It is so obvious that even a sitting US senator criticized the movie saying that taught children government is good and business is bad. I mean, I get business is bad, but government is good? Where in the movie does it say that? But also, I don't care, so I'm just gonna pretend like it's not political. The satire in this movie is hardly subtle, but I guess it makes sense. It's a kids movie. I mean, it's still 1,000 times better than that eugenics movie that Reddit loves. Anyways, I love the designs of the worlds in this movie too. Like Middle Zealand, which is only in the movie for about 2 minutes, but contains multiple funny jokes, and has its own lore built up around it.
Middle Zealand, full of knights, castles, mutton, torture weapons, poverty, leeches, illiteracy, and
Also, the reveal that the whole world is just some kid playing with his dad's Lego collection is actually genius. The idea of making a whole movie out of your childhood Lego minifigure lore is really, really cool. Also, it's clever that Lord Business is just a stand-in for the kid's overbearing dad getting mad at him for messing with his sets. This twist doesn't really make that much sense when you think about it though. Like, why is there a wall on their table that if you break through, it leads to the sky in the Old West? Or there's just some hole under a construction site that leads to a crazy glue cap for some reason. If you connect the cap to the crazy glue, there's an explosion for some reason. I guess it makes sense when you consider this is all just some kid's imagination. At least that's how I justify it. Oh yeah, the twist that the piece of resistance is just a crazy glue cap is hilarious. M. Night Shyamalan twist. The detail of Lord Business's weapons just being real world items in the Lego filled world is great. Like, the only things that aren't Lego in this movie are just these weapons. Normally I wouldn't even find jokes like this funny, but every time they mispronounce the name of one of these weapons, it cracks me up.
It's the orb of Teetlist.
There are so many references to Lego history in this movie. It clearly shows the creator's love and passion for this brand instead of just making an advertisement as people expected. Let me tell you, there are so many funny jokes and visual gags in this movie, it's crazy. It's a laugh a minute. Even if there is a joke that doesn't hit, there will be another 5 that does in the next minute.
to the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet! Dang it.
Honestly, and I say this with complete sincerity, this is the funniest movie I've ever seen. Now, keep in mind, I don't watch many comedies, and I'm sure many people will disagree with that statement. I'm not saying it's the funniest movie of all time, I'm just saying it's the funniest one I've seen, in my opinion.
Business. Numbers. Is this working?
Yes.
Yay!
There are jokes in this for everyone. There are jokes I find funny when this came out when I was 10.
Who are you here to see?
I'm here to see your butt.
Is that last name Bud, first name yours? Oh my gosh!
There are jokes I find funny now when I'm 21.
Ow! That is gonna start hurting pretty soon.
And there are a lot of jokes I find funny at both ages.
Y'all ready for this?
Oh no! They were ready for that!
Before I went back to rewatch this movie, I kind of expected it to have a lot of fart jokes and potty humor, and there was none of that. The most immature jokes were a couple of butt jokes. The animation in this movie is chef's kiss. Every single character, building, scenery, effect, all designed to look like Lego. It's beautiful. I love the Lego games, but I always thought it was weird how they mixed Lego pieces with the non-Lego environment. I wouldn't blame you if you thought this was stop motion. It's not, it's CGI, but I wouldn't blame you if you thought that, because I know a lot of people did, me included. The movie's animation is heavily inspired from brick films, or those old stop motion Lego videos on YouTube. The whole magic portal scene is actually based on an old brick film from 1989. It makes me happy that the creators of the Lego movie showed respect to the amateur stop motion Lego movies that pioneered this genre and made this movie possible. The action scenes in this movie are so well done. I've never seen an animated movie with this good of action. The way the master builders use their powers, it's beautiful. Every shot in this movie is so beautiful. The attention to detail is immaculate. There was a trend around this time to have extremely dark visuals in movies, and I'm so glad this film doesn't follow it. It splashes the whole world in this bright, beautiful color. I love every character in this movie. I'm so glad they gave several side characters development, not just making every character a one-dimensional comic relief, although there are a couple characters like that. On the surface level, Emmett is just a consumerist construction worker who always follows the rules, but dig a little deeper and you'll find a deep character that craves a community and wants to be loved. That scene where Bad Cop shows him the video of the people closest to him saying what they really think about him is heartbreaking.
But you know, he's not like normal like us. No, he's not that special.
Look at Randy here. He likes sausage. That's something. Gail is perky. That's something. And Harry, well...
When you say Harry, I go... When you say the other guy, I go...
The scene represents one of my greatest fears, that the people around me secretly don't like me. It's a feeling I think many people have had growing up when they realize that they aren't their best friend's best friend. This whole development of realizing there is no such thing as a special, but anyone can be the special is pretty great. This development is pretty far off from his unconfident nature at the start of the movie. I also admire his willingness to actually follow the rules and work with others, offering something different from the rest of the master builders. I find Emmett to be a deeply relatable character, but I can't be the only one who actually thought this double-decker coucher was a good idea. I wish it was... No way! Bro, who is this? I tell you now, Emmett is winning this no diff. Watch this and tell me this ain't the hardest scene in cinema history.
I can see everything.
What the heck is this?
I am a master builder.
I love the scene where Emmett's giving that speech to President Business about everyone being special. It's just the culmination of his whole character arc throughout the movie. Speaking of President Business, he's a great villain. Every scene he is in is so memorable. He kind of shares his character arc with Emmett and realizing that everyone is special and how that's actually a good thing. A lot of people would consider this corny, but I actually like this change of heart. I'm a big believer in second chances, and I believe people actually can change as much as you doomers deny it. I like he actually has a realistic motivation, that he's just a power-hungry, control freak CEO president. It's just like real life. I've already talked about Lord Business extensively, so I won't go much farther into it, but he's a good character. Wildstyle appears to just be a goth girl, but inside she is actually a deeply insecure character. She just wants to be the special. She's someone who hides from her past and tries hard to be a dark and mysterious hipster. It's just like Discord. I like how she really wants to be the special, and she gets kind of heated when Emmett finds the piece of resistance despite him not even being a master builder. Also, she's got all the best action scenes, let's be real. I can't be the only one who thought she was kind of bad when I was a kid, right? I mean, I guess not, since she's dating Batman, Emmett has a crush on her, and Lando hits on her. Vitruvius. I don't know where the trope of blind guys that are mollywopping dudes came from, but it's sick every time I see it. He also... No! That scene where he's a ghost and he's using the string to float is hilarious. Batman gotta be the coldest character in this movie. After every line he says in this movie, I feel like there's about to be funk music and a CapCut TikTok edit. Batman kind of has the Saul Goodman syndrome going on, where he goes from being a comic relief character to a tragic character in his spin-off. And when you rewatch the original, he's much more of a deep character. You should watch Lego Batman. It's also a really, really good movie.
My name's Richard Grayson, but all the kids at the orphanage call me Dick.
Well, children can be cruel.
Batman's kind of a hard character to adapt in a comedy. They basically did it the only way you can, which is making him a rich douchebag. Your character is someone who at first you think is just a cute character to sell toys, but then you realize she's someone who hides her emotions in. She has anger issues, and at the end of the movie, she finally lets it all out, which is a good scene. What is this? No one is watching this. Benny. It's so satisfying at the end of the movie to see him finally fulfill his autistic obsession of building a spaceship. These characters are cool, but honestly, I got nothing to say about them. Yeah. Watching this crossover scene when I was 10 was so sick. Now keep in mind, this was when Marvel was not going crazy with the multiverse, so seeing crossovers in movie was still crazy. This movie has aged pretty well overall. There are only a couple of things I think are kind of there are a couple of jokes that are, he's right behind me, isn't he? Tier.
What do you think? A spaceship is just gonna appear out of the blue? Are you kidding me? The same bit?
And the whole story trope of, oh, there's a chosen that will save the world, but he's actually a normal guy, and then he actually does save the world. It's kind of done to death. To be fair, the Lego movie didn't even do that first, because Kung Fu Panda did it 6 years earlier. But in 2014, it still didn't feel like it was completely done to death. One of the things that has actually aged really well in this movie is the pace. This movie is so fast pace. I can't recall a single second in this movie that doesn't either serve the plot as an action scene or a joke. This movie dives right into the plot super quick. It only spends 7 minutes setting up the world and it jumps straight fast into the plot. Love or hate this movie, it's impossible to find it boring. Due to TikTok, our attention spans are so low. We need a movie that doesn't let go of our attention for even a second. My biggest pet peeve is when I'm watching a movie or show with someone and they start looking at their phone. This movie feels very early 2010, but in a good way, like a nostalgic kind of way. I feel like this is a core childhood movie. It takes me back to the time when I had all the time in the world, and I didn't talk to girls because I thought they have cooties, and now I don't talk to them because I'm misogynist. It might just be me in my childhood innocence talking, but I felt like movies used to have more love put into them, and this is really one of the last movies from that era. I'm not saying there are no good new movies, but now they feel so soulless and corporate, which is ironic because this is a movie based on a toy brand, but it just feels so different. You can feel the love and talent oozing out of every second of this movie. So, is this title clickbait? Is this really the best kids movie of all time? Well, I guess that's for you to decide. I will say, I can't think of a more fun movie. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here, but I promise I'm gonna circle this back. Over the years, I realized I appreciate music in two ways. There are songs I can bump in the car and have a good time. Sometimes they don't even need to be good songs. They can just be fun songs, and I can still enjoy them. And there are songs I like to sit down and actively listen to, appreciate the craftsmanship, focus on the lyrics and message of the song. Sure, one may be the more sophisticated way to listen to music, but if I find enjoyment in both of them, then what's really the problem? I think the same concept exists in movies. There are dumb, fun movies that you can turn off your brain and enjoy, just watch hanging out with friends and family. Then there are masterpieces that you actually have to focus on to understand what's going on. The Lego Movie is really one of those rare movies that fits into both categories. You can watch and turn off your brain and have a good time, or you can actually pay attention and actually see that's really a masterpiece. To go back to the question, is the title clickbait? I don't know. But I do know one thing. There will never, ever, ever again be a movie like the Lego Movie.